what is the lore of the HOENN region? Well, I can tell you from now that it runs pretty deep, as trainers are forced to persevere as the battle for land and sea rages. Gym challenges stand in the way, along with Team Aqua and Magma having their own all-out brawls. And of course, Braille. Let's get into it. In the ancient days of HOENN, before Brendan and May start their own journey, the almost deity-like creature Groudon created land, and Kyogre, the deity of the seas, created the seas, which birthed this beautiful Pokemon world. Both opposing forces, the yin and yang of our mighty region, met and battled for supremacy. However, the deity of the heavens, Rayquaza, came down and quelled this battle, which sent the legends back into slumber. Regigigas shifted and moved the continents, which ended up creating the HOENN region in isolation. He was sent to sleep at Snowpoint Temple in the Sinnoh region, and along with him, the three Regis were also sealed away in mysterious caves throughout the HOENN region. The region itself is actually inspired by the main island of Kyushu. The story follows three trainers as usual, who are May, Brendan, and Wally. The main duo, May or Brendan, have actually just moved from the Johto region to the HOENN region at the start of their journey. They end up saving the professor of the region, Professor Birch, from a wild Poochyena, and this is where you come upon the option of choosing your starters, which are Torchic, the little chicken Pokemon, Mudkip, who is based on an Axolotl, and Trico, the little lizard gecko Pokemon. This moment is a huge marker for the beginning of your journey in HOENN. Your first trainer battle takes place against May or Brendan, depending on who you're playing as, and after the tussle, the trainers set off to take on the regular challenge of the Pokemon game, capturing everything, defeating the Elite Four, and taking on the gyms. Petalburg is where the first gym is, the normal type gym, which is led by the main character's dad, Norman. Norman, the normal type gym leader? You don't actually fight him though. However, you do take Wally under your wing to catch his first Pokemon, which is a Ralt, a male one. This will totally matter later. And his journey of trying to become a capable trainer begins here. After taking on your rival and helping Wally catch his Ralt, you must head through the Petalburg woods. However, you get halted by a man in a green suit looking for his Shroomish, when you both get rushed by a Team Magma Grunt. This green suited man seems to be a researcher from the Devon Corporation, who the Team Magma or Aqua Grunt was looking for. We'll be just referring to them as Team Magma Grunts and tell the story from here on from the Ruby perspective. However, this strange man in the green suit runs and hides behind the trainer. And now you are face to face with your first battle against the villainous organization of Team Magma. After you beat him, he warns you that Team Magma are in Rustboro, and you receive a great ball from the Devon researcher, who then storms off and heads to Rustboro as well. So we head to Rustboro, where we get to battle our first gym leader, who is the rock expert Roxanne. She is hella studious and seems like she attends the Pokemon school nearby, as she tells the trainer that she is going to apply all that she's learned while at school. She wields her signature nose pass and hands over the stone badge once you defeat her. She also hands over the TM Rock Tomb. Upon exiting, we see the same Team Magma Grunt from the forest, booking it away from the Devon research place, being chased by the man in the green suit. On your way out of Rustboro, he stops and tells you to get that who stole the Devon goods. You trek through the nearby route onto Rusturf Tunnel, where an old man tells you that his Pelipper has been stolen as well by the exact grunt that we're looking for. One of the first things you see upon entering the tunnel is the Team Magma Grunt. You defeat him and retrieve the Devon goods along with the old guy's Pelipper, Pico. He reveals to you that his name is Mr. Briny, and he says to come and visit him right at the docks above Petalburg. So that ends up becoming a primary objective. However, on your way, Mr. Greensuit stops you, and after you hand him the Devon goods, he brings you to the Devon Corporation, where you get to meet the president. You get 2 new things added to your to-do list, which is to deliver a package to Slateport and a letter to Steven in Dewford. So you end up getting a Pokénav, which is basically a map, which will help you to find either of these places. Nice! Now we're off to the Petalburg seaside, or Route 104, where we meet Mr. Briny, who is willing to take us to Dewford in his ferry. I guess saving his bird was a big deal. A pretty relaxing ride there if you ask me. Before taking on the local gym, you must head to Granite Cave where Steven is located in order to deliver the president's letter. He expresses his interest in rare stones and receives the letter gratefully, and then hands over the TM Steelwing. Next up is the fighting type expert, Broly. Wait, it's Brawly. Brawly. Oh. Brawly is a huge surfer, hang 10 man. We can genuinely see that in his fit as he wears water shoes. So outside of being a fighting type gym leader, he likes to catch some waves, man. He hangs 10 with his signature Makuhita and hands over the knuckle badge, and the TM bulk up once you take him down. You take the ferry to the next city, which is Slateport, which is pretty much a city of seafarers having a lighthouse and all of that jazz. The mission being to visit Captain Stern and deliver the Devon goods. You head to the Oceanic Museum where Captain Stern is located, and of course, for whatever reason, the first floor is filled to the brim with Team Magma grunts. You go up a floor and get to talk to Captain Stern, and he is grateful for you handing over the Devon goods, saying that he can finally depart on whatever research he had planned. However, you get double teamed by 2 grunts and they start a battle with you. Of course, you beat them and their leader comes into the room. He berates his grunts for failing to take the Devon goods and then proceeds to explain his plan, of course thinking that you are too young to even understand. He leaves, threatening you, saying that they should never see you again. Captain Stern thanks you for rescuing him, takes the Devon goods and thanks you for those too. And then you leave the Oceanic Museum and head for Route 110. On your way there to the next city, you end up encountering your main rival, either Brendan or May, and you have a battle. After your victory, you get an item finder which gives you the ability to find invisible items. We're finally here at Mauville City, a very modern place which is the location of the Rock Smash HM and of course the bicycle shop run by Rydell. He offers you 2 options of bicycles, which is the Mach bike, which is the standard bicycle that pretty much everyone picks, and the Acrobike, which is the bike that enables you to jump hills. Not sure who takes the Acrobike, so you got to take the Mach bike. Upon trying to enter the gym in Mauville, you are greeted by Wally and his uncle, who asks you for a battle. Now it's just Wally and his lone route, so it's a walk in the park. However, his uncle offers his respect and says to visit him in Verdant Turf. So, we're finally entering the gym, the home of the Electric Watson. He is a chill and joyous gym leader who would probably laugh at my dad jokes. So why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side, hey! And of course, where would he be without his signature Magneton and Magnezone, with the Dynamo badge as your reward along with the TM Shockwave. We head to Route 111 where we get one of our first uses of the Rock Smash TM, and then make our trek through the fiery path, making it all the way to the iconic soot-filled Route 113, which is right before Falarbor Town, but I like the volcano theme and look of both areas. There's also a contest hall here, which is a huge W. Route 114 leads you to Meteor Falls, where you encounter a plotting Team Magma who has gotten their hands on the necessary meteorite and are heading for Mount Chimney with the quickness. They are however encountered by Team Aqua, whose leader is Archie. Not only does he introduce himself to you, the trainer, but swears to thwart the Magma lovers and he storms off. We exit Mount Chimney, heading through Rustboro to get to the city of Verdant Turf. We get to the Rust Turf Tunnel and break the rocks that are separating us from going anywhere further. The rocks are also separating a couple, one being a fighter and a woman named Wanda. Breaking these rocks fills him with such a strong sense of appreciation, leading him to give up the HM strength and skedaddle with his girl. Upon exiting the tunnel, we arrive at Verdant Turf. We have to pass through Verdant Turf Town, the once hometown of Wally, and the home of a contest hall, which, you know, if you didn't know, has Pokemon contests. Wait, why is Dan Snyder here? We finally get to Mount Chimney, since we got the strength HM, and now we get to ride the cable car. We have another encounter with Team Magma where the place is overrun by grunts of both Team Magma and Aqua. Here they plan on using the meteorite in order to force an eruption in Hoenn. After taking on a few grunts and then the leader Maxi, they are beaten and the team settle in Lily Cove for a while, plotting their next move. We head to Lava Ridge Town where we meet up on the fiery gym leader Flannery. She is a spirited and impulsive gym leader, but she isn't that experienced. Of course, whatever she lacks in experience, she makes up for with charisma. She takes on the world with her Torkoal by her side, and hands over the heat badge and the TM overheat once you beat her. After exiting the gym, you are greeted by your rival, who gives you the Go Goggles. These assist you with getting through the desert sandstorm that is in Route 111. We check through the desert sandstorm and return to Petalburg in order to face Norman, our father. He takes his job as gym leader very seriously and shows off his battling prowess every time he has a challenger. He crushes dreams with his signature slacking in hand and hands over the balance badge if you manage to beat him, along with the TM facade. He is also good friends with Professor Birch. That's fun. Along with taking down the normal type gym leader Norman, we have a conversation with Wally's uncle, who expresses gratitude to you for helping Wally get out more. And he also tells us that he has been feeling much better since he went to Verdant Turf, and hands over the HM Surf, a game-changing move to have in the HOENN region, which is basically a cluster of islands. We head east of Mauville, and we end up finding the champion Steven. He remembers you from our previous encounter at Dewford, where you handed him a letter and he begins talking about Pokemon philosophy with you. And then, he bolted. What a weirdo. We head through the extra tall grass on Route 119 and then make our turn into the Weather Institute, which is flooded with grunts. What is wrong with these guys? After soloing all of them, they leave the weather station. But the scientists, as a token of their gratitude, hand over the Pokemon cast form to you. This is a Pokemon that changes shape based on weather conditions. Before you're able to head to Fortree City, we are then stopped by our rival, again, who wants to battle us. After beating them, you get the HM Fly, another hugely pivotal HM towards this story. Fortree City is going full Planet of Apes, as it is built atop trees housing the flying type gym that is led by Winona. The pathway to enter the gym though is blocked, so you must leave the city first in order to get a very important item for entry. After Fortree City on Route 120, we encounter Steven once more on a bridge, and our path is similarly blocked off by something invisible. Steven pops out a new item, which is the Devon Scope. He lends it to us and we use it to see what's actually standing there. It turns out to be a Kecleon, the chameleon Pokemon. Taking it down clears the pathway, and Steven hands us the Devon Scope. Then he gets kidnapped by a bird. Nah, he just flies away. After we get the Devon Scope, we can return to the gym, making the Kecleon blocking the way visible. This big lizard chucks off into the bush, and we can finally return to our mission of taking on the flying type gym and its leader, Winona. She is a caring and compassionate girl, and she is also a lover at heart. She tries to refine herself in battle and appreciates the gracefulness of battle. Altaria is her fluffy signature Pokemon, and after you beat her, you get the Feather Badge and the TM Aerial Ace. Mossdeep City is our next location, and on our way there, we catch some Team Magma Grunts conversing that they are heading to Mount Pyre. We head straight to location and we end up taking on various snotty Team Magma Grunts. Again, we meet upon the leader, Maxi, and two elders stand behind him. Maxi flaunts and boasts that he has gotten his hands on the blue orb, and him and Team Magma are heading out to Slateport. The elderly lady explains the necessity of the blue and red orb never being separated. So she gives us the red orb and beckons to us that we need to take down the leader of Team Magma and retrieve the blue orb. Each mysterious orb is used in controlling their respective legendary Pokemon, red for Groudon and blue for Kyogre. However, Maxi has taken the wrong orb. We head to Slateport after Team Magma, but we meet upon Captain Stern being interviewed about continuing his exploration mission. He tells us that they have found a secret underwater cave with a legendary Pokemon thought to be extinct. Team Magma, however, announces themselves there and makes their intentions of stealing the submarine known to everyone there at Slateport. Captain Stern and the trainer enter the housing for the sub, and we see Maxi and one of the grunts waiting. They, however, hop in the submarine and head off. We chase after them, heading to Lily Cove and head to the Magma hideout and take on the mandatory grunt battles. However, that wastes just enough time for Maxi to escape and head directly for the Sea Cove. We head back to Mossdeep City, where we meet upon Steven. He gives us the HM for the move dive, which has finally unlocked our own capabilities of following the submarine. Also, in Mauville City, we meet up on the psychic twins, Tate and Liza. Tate being the boy and Liza being the girl, with both having complementary personalities. Tate being a bit more mature and level-headed than his older sister. Both use Soul Rock and Lunara in our first gym double battle in the Pokemon series. These Pokemon picks also really show up the yin and yang dynamic. Handing over the Mind Badge if you win, along with the TM Calm Mind. We immediately head to the Seafloor Cavern where we see Team Magma waiting for us. Place is overrun by Team Magma grunts. However, battling our way through them, we finally get to the lair where Groudon and Maxie are awaiting. He confronts us trying to battle the trainer, but after losing, he activates the blue orb out of desperation with intention of controlling Groudon. However, the blue orb does the opposite. It awakens Groudon and it has him emerge from his cave, releasing a harsh sun on the world. Team Aqua's leader also comes into the cave with us, and we all leave to see how strong and harsh the sun really is, as it's explained by Archie that Groudon will now attempt to dry up the world's seas. Expanding the land didn't quite go according to the plan of Maxie, so in shame, he and Archie leave the scene. However, Steven swoops in and helping the trainer to get an idea of where next to go to, with the solution being to go to Sootopolis. We head there and we meet Steven, who is already here waiting on us. He introduces us to Wallace, who was trusted with the protection of the Cave of Origin. He also explains that the cave is the source of our supernatural heatwave. The cave is in Sootopolis, by the way. We are led to the cave by Wallace, and since we have the red orb, he lets us go inside. The cave shakes as we get closer and closer to the center of the blistering heat. We then realize that it is of course Groudon that is the cause. Upon getting closer to Groudon, the red orb reacts to his presence and he comes closer to the trainer and decides to take us on. He should be an easy capture with the Master Ball that we retrieved from the Team Magma base. After Groudon's defeat or capture, we head to Lily Cove. Now once in Lily Cove, our rival is there waiting on us at the front of the department store. After beating them, they explain that they're considering to go home, working on their own Pokédex, and then they fly off. We head back now to Sootopolis to challenge the final gym, and this is where we meet Steven waiting at the front door for us. He expresses gratitude to the trainer for solving the big sunlight problem and gives us some encouragement for the final gym battle. Now in the Sootopolis gym, it is the home of the gym leader Wallace. He is very calm and somewhat flamboyant. Okay, very flamboyant. He travels with his signature Milotic and handing over the Rain Badge and the TM for Water Pulse if you beat him. In Emerald, the gym leader is actually Juan. Interesting. After completing your takedown of the criminal organizations and collecting all 8 badges, one must take on the Elite 4 of this region. We first head back to Mauville City and we use Surf to go south on route 127 and 128 until we get to a waterfall, climbing it, which ends up leading us to the onslaught of trainers at Victory Road. At the very end of the cave, we meet upon a new and very confident Wally, who challenges you to his final battle. After your victory, he swears to defeat you one day, and you exit. And finally, you are at Evergrande City, where we can meet upon the Elite 4. Starting with the Dark-type Master Sydney, who wields his signature Absol. Next up is Phoebe, the vacationing girl who wields her signature Dusclops. Then is Galacia, the icy blonde who has her very powerful Whaleren. After her is Drake, the Dragon-type master who wields his signature Salamence in battle. And lastly is the champion Steven, the Steel-type master who wields his very powerful Metagross. Taking down this gauntlet leads to the player becoming the champion of this region. You are congratulated by your rival and Professor Birch, and then you are inducted into the Hall of Champions. But the journey doesn't end there, as Braille is involved. After traveling to the sealed chambers, you must perform a complex set of party shiftings in order to access the Braille tablets, which opens various doors throughout the HOENN region, which all free the Regis, who await a pivotal battle from the one who has freed them. Along with that, Latias and Latios will be roaming throughout the region. And in this, it will sort of act like the 3 legendary dogs in Johto, who can be found literally anywhere. However, if you want to learn more about the first ever roaming Pokemon, and of course 2 legendary birds of great power, click this video here.